Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Client Spotlight, my podcast at MacRAE'S. I'm your host, Catherine Seymour, and we have a very special guest, Tom Hall, President of Canada Metal, a trusted Canadian manufacturer with over 100 years of expertise in producing high-quality marine, industrial, and cathodic protection products. Canada Metal is well known for delivering innovative solutions for marine and industrial applications worldwide, ranging from anodes to advanced marine hardware, always with a commitment for high quality and service. We'll talk about the company's evolution and how they maintain their leadership in such a competitive market and how partnering with MacRAE'S has helped them expand their digital footprint. Let's get started. Tom, can you go ahead and introduce yourself and share a little bit about Canada Metal?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It's a real pleasure to be here, Catherine. Sure. So I'm relatively newly joined to Canada Metal. It's a family business. Like you said, a long history. My family's been involved for about the past 20 years. Canada Metal's history, again, over 140 years, all these different iterations, all these ups and downs. And in the early 2000s, my father got involved with Canada Metal and saw a real opportunity there. At that point, he had about 40 years experience in metals manufacturing, and Canada Metal wasn't doing great, to be honest. And he really turned it around, and it's been interesting watching his journey from
Yeah.
60 to 80, I should add, working at Canada Metal. So I've just gotten involved recently. But like you said, we provide a bunch of products for a bunch of different industries. We have over 1,000 SKUs. Many of our products fall into a few buckets. Like you said, there's marine, radiation shielding, anodes for electroplating, plumbing hardware, aerospace, pole line hardware for power transmission, roofing, soundproofing. One thing I've learned very quickly is what lead is good at. It is very, very good at and difficult to
Yeah.
replace. And one of those areas in particular is really interesting, I think, in radiation shielding. It's a market that's always growing. And when I started and I realized that we were producing these products that keep doctors and patients and researchers safe, I was just really blown away. And then realizing that our lead is in hospitals and nuclear reactors across Canada and frankly the world is also really special. I think also worth noting that we do all our manufacturing here at our factory in Montreal, so it's 100% Canadian made radiation shielding and that line, which is really special. And I think, which is pertinent today, given everything that's going on, we are a union shop and really proud of that. I think my dad, one thing that he really emphasized when he got involved was just how important it is that this is a place that produces excellent products, that we
Yeah.
serve our customers, but that it's also a place that treats people fairly and that it's a good place to work where people want to stick around. And the benefit of that is on our shop floor now, we've got incredible experience in terms of working with lead, which can be a really finicky metal. So it's a really fun time to be getting involved and helping Canada Metal, I guess, take its next steps.
Awesome. For those who might not be familiar, what products and solutions does Canada Metal provide? I know you touched points on some of those, but can you share
Mhm.
some other examples as well?
Yeah, I mean, again, so I would say the biggest current market for us is radiation shielding. If we had one big market. So that every time you walk into a dentist's office, and there's an x-ray room, in that room, those walls are lined with lead. Typically, it would be sheet lead. So it's rolled
Yeah.
sheets of lead that are 4 by 8 feet. So they, match your standard wall panel. Sometimes they need thicker lead. So we make bricks of various shapes and sizes. And so they're not enormously complicated pieces, but again, what lead's good at, it's very good at. And so we will ship that everywhere. And so
Yeah.
that's a key product is just sheet lead and bricks. And again, we're proud that those are 100% manufactured here in Canada. And then from there, though, we can get really complicated. You can cut and slice both of those products in a million different ways. I was shocked at how many different options there are. And it's because different radioactive materials and different machines require different levels of protection. One thing about lead is it's really heavy. So when
Yeah.
you start working with it, we've quoted hospital jobs where we're talking, tens of thousands of bricks, and we had to remind the person that the poor installers are going to be moving these bricks that each weigh 60 pounds if we go with the dimensions they're asking for. So it's really interesting in terms of the different products out there. But then in aerospace, it'll be different weights or very specific alloys. We work with a ton of alloys that are very precise. And again, what they are used for, it's really difficult to find a replacement for lead. We also do anodes for boats. So we don't only do lead, we also work with zinc. And so again, anodes are there to protect the hull of a boat. Anyone who has a sailboat or a motorboat has got anodes on their engine somewhere. And so we do produce those as well, typically for industrial marine applications, roofing and soundproofing. So if you've ever been to Paris, look up, the roofs are all gray. Those gray roofs are all lead. It's not something we use here in Canada, but in Europe, it's a huge market, and lead lasts forever. It's very easy to work with as long as you take the proper precautions. It's also, safe again if you're taking the precautions. And so all over any coastal cities in Europe and things like that, lead provides this is excellent roofing material. And then one that I guess an interesting one that people don't know about that much is plumbing joints. So it's not in drinking water anymore, of course, but if often wastewater valves or toilets will often sit on these things called plumbing joints, and lead is a really interesting thing. It's been used forever in plumbing, as we know. The Romans used it. But in this particular instance, one of the benefits is that, again, it's quite malleable, it's easy to work with, and it's got some flexibility. So when you're joining things, it's a relatively easy product. Again, if you're taking the proper precautions, it's okay to work with. So those are just a number. But like I said, there's probably 1,000 SKUs at any given point. So there's a lot that we work on here.
If you could sum up Canada Metal in one sentence, what would it be?
Yeah, that's going to be a challenge, but I would say world-leading expertise in lead manufacturing. Again, like I mentioned, the shop floor experience we've got is really something. And lead, unlike other metals, because of the risks inherent in it, it is toxic. You have to be careful with it. The industry has shrunk. Behind me on the wall here is an old advertisement. That's all stuff that basically isn't made anymore because it would get in contact with people. But over the years, lead is really focused in, or I would say the market's really focused in on what it's good at. And the expertise to work with the material in a safe way and develop the products that people need is fairly rare out there. So I'm really proud to work with the people I get to work with.
What led you to start looking for a digital marketing partner?
Yeah, this is so interesting. So I would say we've been working with MacRAE'S now for a number of years. And I think the original intent, the original goal was simply just to stake our claim in the digital space. I don't think the strategy was any more complicated than that. Let's get some territory on in terms of SEO, and just claim that space. We're mostly a B2B, and when people need lead, there aren't that many options. So I think we understood that yes, we need to show up when people look for products, but I really don't think it was more advanced than that. So that was the original intent. Obviously now we're looking beyond that. We're looking at new markets, as we get more refined around A, what SEO matters for us, B, what markets, C, where we can, how are we competing in those markets? The relationship is certainly evolving as is the strategy that drives it.
For sure. You had options when you were looking for other marketing agencies. What kind of made MacRAE'S stand out?
I think the understanding of manufacturing that MacRAE'S brings. I'm frankly relatively new to this space, and though I have a background in marketing and communications and general management, manufacturing has its nuances, as I've learned pretty quickly. And so to work with a partner that understands that is just essential, and that's what MacRAE'S brings.
Can you walk us through the work that MacRAE'S has done for Canada Metal, whether it be SEO, content development, website updates, or other strategies?
Yeah, well, I think you just named a few there. And like I said, SEO has been key. The website, again, I think the last iteration was MacRAE'S, and we're working on a new one with MacRAE'S, and for sure content on there that helps drive SEO and drive customers. Certainly we get a lot of outreach through the website as well. It's probably underutilized by our team, and certainly something we're looking to improve upon. But yeah, those are three main buckets: SEO, content, website. And then from there, I think we've got a really solid foundation, and now I'm very interested in refining that. Like I said, driven by a strategy that goes beyond just claiming space and showing up when people look, but some actual targets, exploring some markets that maybe we haven't really worked in. So that's also a lot of fun.
How would you describe the communication and collaboration with the MacRAE'S team?
Excellent. As I would, I would say patient is one because any delays that we've had with products are my fault. Any delays we've had with any updates on the website or categorizing SEO and things like that has all been driven by me. And so the team that we work with, Crystal and Sakshi, I think in particular, have been very patient with me. Again, when I said understanding manufacturing, I think we're a medium-sized business. Having a partner that recognizes that we don't have a dedicated marketing team, and so I have to wear a lot of hats. One of those is certainly marketing, and it's crucial. But having a partner that understands that and recognizes that maybe we'll be slow with some things just because of life and the nature of business is really nice. So it's been an absolute pleasure to work with the team. Yeah.
What are some measurable results that you've seen since working with MacRae'S? For example, higher search volumes or increased traffic to your website or more qualified leads?
Yeah, I would say certainly if we talk SEO, we're number one in a lot of the categories we want to be in, and that's just fantastic. And then leads wise, I would say yes. I can't actually quantify it yet because we don't have I get the material from MacRae'S and the reports from MacRae'S, and that's great. But what we haven't done, and what I would advise anyone doing who's going to join have a consultancy or a firm that supports them on anything, is that the proper step is to have that strategy that drives this relationship. And so that's
Right.
what I'm busy trying to put in place. But absolutely, again, SEO, we're number one in a whole bunch of things. We get our leads reports, and we get a tremendous amount of business just directly through the website. So it's all good. There's no concern there. But I would absolutely love to be able to tell you X percent this month, Y percent next month. Here's the goal
Yeah.
for next year. And we're getting there. But though MacRae'S can help and any external agency can help, what we need to do is know what we want to accomplish, right? And so I think that's our original strategy was claiming space. We've done that. The next iteration of that now is being really specific about what we want to accomplish.
What has been the single biggest win for Canada Metal resulting in this partnership?
I would again. I keep on going back to SEO, but when people search for lead, we come up, and it's key and it's super important. And the number of contacts we get that way has been great. And then I would say the website has really served its purpose as our online. It's got a lot of online repository of information and products and services as that evolves. And I'm excited to be launching a new one with MacRae soon. I think we can see more out of that and leveraging that more. But I would say absolutely just showing up when people are looking for lead-based products has been really important for us.
Very cool. Is there anything that you feel we could have done differently? Any idea of areas of improvement that we could have done in your for your sites?
I don't think so. I mean, we're going through the process right now and updating it. And I would say, as I alluded to earlier, the relationship for something like this really has to be driven by the customer. And I'm the customer in this case. And I have to be able to tell MacRae'S what I want and how I want it and then get advice, right? If I say I want to get to point A or point B from point A, it's up to MacRae'S then to help me navigate that point and make suggestions. And I think again, we did that phase one, and now that we're in phase two and things are getting a little more specific, I think it's up to us to ask MacRae'S for their expertise and input, which we're in the middle of doing. So I don't think there's anything MacRae'S could have done better in that space.
Okay. What would you say to another manufacturing or industrial business that's considering partnering with MacRae'S?
Well, I mean, I would say I would encourage them to do it. And then, like I said, as a rule, when working with any external body, whether it's an accounting firm or a marketing firm or a legal firm, you need to know what you want to accomplish with this partnership. You're going to spend money on it, and to ensure that money is well spent, you should know exactly what you want to get out of it. And that's on this side of the screen. And so I would encourage them to have that strategy, and it doesn't need to be perfect. That's where the agency can help you. MacRae'S are experts at what they do, but you need to know the goal that you're trying to accomplish. Have a pretty good idea of what that is, and then you can refine it with your external support. So that would be my thing. I believe strongly in getting external support and capacity. Not everything has to be in-house, but to make sure that it's worthwhile, it's really a question of knowing what you want to get out of it.
Tom, thank you so much for sharing Canada Metal's story and the impact of working with MacRAE'S. It's inspiring a century-old Canadian business continues to innovate and grow in today's digital space. And thanks for everyone listening. Stay tuned for another success stories from MacRAE'S.
Thank you very much.